If you haven't already, please take a second to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Also, feel free to share the video. ICMTU, I Can't Make This Up, is a live comedy show hosted by AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. ICMTU brings people together from different backgrounds by sharing true stories that have happened in their lives. Today's episode shout out goes to, the Freetown Road Project. It is West Indian cuisine located in Jersey City. So when you're in Jersey City and you got that little urge and your stomach start going boom, dida boom, dida boom, dida boom, boom, that means it wants some West Indian cuisine. And you can find that at the Freetown Road Project on 640 Newark Ave, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07307. Make sure you stop in there, get some, what is this? They have stewed chicken, curry chicken, and they have braised oxtail. So yes, you looking for a West Indian place that has oxtail? This is the place. When you go there, tell Chef Claude that AJ Dunk sent you. All right. Chef Claude is a winner of Chopped. Yes, Chopped. So he knows what he's doing. Go over there, tell him that AJ Dunk sent you. And all right, please enjoy the show. And now, please welcome your host, AJ Dunk. Hey, what's good? Hey, welcome to another episode of I Can't Make This Up. That's right. But before we get into all that, I want to see how's everybody feeling. Let me know in the chat. Let me know. It's a Thursday. That's right, Thursday, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, let me know how you feeling. Where are people checking in from? Let me know. When you get to work, okay, you don't just clock in and immediately start working. No, that's like, come on now, that's not how we operate. You gotta clock in, say hello to your friends, check what the gossip is, see who's talking about what, and then maybe go to the bathroom, get your coffee. If you gotta take a little smoke break, you do all that. And I'm gonna allow you the time to do all that. All right, I'm talking to you that's on Instagram, you on Twitch. I'm talking to the you that's on YouTube, Facebook, ajdunk.com, because we are streaming live on ajdunk.com. I'm talking to you that is borrowing somebody's internet and watching this. I'm talking to you that's outside in the rain listening because somebody that you live with don't want you watching this show. Wherever you may be, I'm talking to all of you. All right, so now I want you to take this time to go and get yourself situated, all right? Because that's what you got to do. Like I said, nobody just logs into work and starts working. So what I'm going to allow you to do is go get your sips. So if you want something to sip on, you can go get something to sip on. You can get something to smoke on if you're smoking on something. And you can shit on somebody. So if you want to really quickly go shit on somebody, go for it. That, or if you got to take a shit, whichever it may be, now's the time where you get your sips, your smokes, and your shits in. All right? And while we do that, I got some tunes for you. So let's get at it. know what you sipping on, what you smoking on, who you shitting on. Oh, let me know, let me know, let me know, let me know. Hey. That bass, baby. Ooh, What we going with today? We going gold. We going gold. Yeah, we going gold. We going gold. I look like a referee. You saw his picture. You saw my guest picture. I gotta be ready. Boom! Hey, what's good? What's good? Hello, hello. How's everybody feeling? I see. Ooh, looking. Yeah, that's right. Everybody that's getting their sips, if you still getting your sips, come back on over. Come back on over. You know, just top it off and come on over. To all of you that are getting your smokes, get that last and bring it on over, okay? And to the people that shouldn't, take your time. Just listen until you come back over. Or if you shouldn't want somebody, wrap that up. They don't need to hear all that heat, all that bad. You should have said what you said in that amount of time. What we got here? Ooh, Turkey Hill iced tea, smoking on spaces in the rain, shitting on that rain. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yes. Don't push. Trust me, you will regret it later on, and it could be right that moment, or it could be years later. Do not relax yourself and take your time. All right. We are here, and there's only one other thing to do before we can officially get started. So, I want you to all enjoy the musical sounds from the one and only Salt Pepper Ketchup. It is by my friends, my good old friends, featuring the one and only Jesus from the bodega, my bodega cat friend. All right, let's get
You know I can't make this up. Neither can I guess. That's why we have money. You know we can't make this up. Neither can I guess. That's why we have money. You know I can't make this up. Neither can I guess. That's why we have money. You know we can't make this up. Neither can I guess. That's why we have money. I can't make this up, baby. Ya tú sabes, coño. Ahí, lo fuimos.
Welcome to another episode of I Can't Make This Up. I'm your host, AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. You can find me at www.ajdunk.com. And from there, you've got my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. It's all located at ajdunk.com. And if you go there, there's a lot of entertainment there for you. You have things that you can watch with your young ones, watch with your old ones, and watch with yourself. If you just want to watch it by yourself, I've got everything there for you. So once you're done here watching this episode of I Can't Make This Up, you can go to ajdunk.com and you can see past episodes, stories that have been told in the past that still are wild. See, if you click the link, see what I'm saying? That's all you got to do. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope everybody is feeling well. I am. Did you see the picture of what we have coming up? I hope y'all saw. Look, I'll show you real quick. Boom! That's what we get. Ooh. So I had to kind of dress like a referee. I don't want to look anything like an opponent because even though we are in separate places and we are on a live stream, I don't want to test it. I don't want to be the first. Okay, there's a first. I'll do a first for a lot of things, but I will not be first for that. No. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody that takes time out of their day to be on an episode of I Can't Make This Up. So my special guest tonight, I want you to all start putting your hands together. Start clapping. Yeah, I can't hear you. I know, but the people around you can hear you. And they're going to be like, what's that for? Oh, yeah, because this is what it is, baby. You got to bring them out. All right, everybody, please put your hands together and welcome our guest for today, Hector Santana.
I like the intro.
Good. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Drop kick my ass. Look at that. People starting, they talking shit already. Look at that. He just 3 seconds.
I know.
So Hector, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I can't complain. You know, sunny California, so it's always nice to wake up here.
Wow. Yeah, it's horrible to go to sleep there, though. So, if you don't mind, will you tell the people a little bit about yourself, so we can get to know you a little bit?
Yeah, sure. No worries. So I'm Dominican Nicaraguan. I went to school at Penn State. I got my degree in business, risk management, and economics. And I've been working on Wall Street for the last six years now. Yep. So I guess Wall Street last 4. I was a consultant for the first 2. So better break out that.
And then you just decided, you know what? Let me just go knock somebody out.
Well, so I've been actually a martial artist since I was 5. So what, 23 years of martial arts now. I'm 28. I started with karate. I got my first degree black belt Kyokushin karate. Then I learned how to box when I was 13. And I started doing MMA and wrestling, scholastic wrestling, and like in high school and college and stuff. You see on TV, or like if your school had a wrestling room, you probably walked by it a couple times. I did that when I was starting at 14, and then I've trained in all of that since. After college, I stopped doing martial arts consistently once I got to college. Because I like that punch your stocks. I like that. I stopped doing martial arts consistently though in college because school, it's hard to juggle the two. I was trying to be a walk-on actually at Penn State in wrestling. I got to the final cuts, but they needed a heavier weight class. I was 157, and they needed a 174 pounder, so I didn't get picked. And so after college, I was like, all right, now I did all the work that I wanted to. I got a job, so let me kind of get slowly back into it. And I started doing Muay Thai and Sambo, which is Russian martial arts, and Muay Thai is martial arts from Thailand. And then I started judo, and then I was like, I wanted to compete again because I didn't get the chance to compete in college, so I just got back into fighting.
Hector, you my best friend. I'm telling you, my best friend. My man's into stocks and whipping ass. Like, shit. And somebody be like, hey, my man, the stock that you told me about, I invested in, and now it's dropping. I'm losing all my money. You be like, all right, come see me then.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, actually, no. It's funny. I'm more on the quantitative side. So, like, I like to program and I like to do data science. So I do more of like the like, for instance, in my job, I work at a hedge fund right now. So I do more of like the quantitative analysis. I like to program in Python. I've built like web crawlers, which are like these little robots that can scrape data off a website, like any website that I want. I built like these different kind of tools to analyze, essentially stocks. I guess the equivalent of stock in in my world is like a bond or like these securitized assets. So
I feel like the more and more you talk, you make my parents wish that you were their child. Like I'm just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm like, God damn. Keep going, Hector. Keep going. I'm in your corner. I'm rooting for you. Keep doing your thing.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm actually
All right.
doing my master's right now in data science
Ooh.
online. So I work, I train, I do my master's, and I do and I teach courses. I've been teaching a course on programming with cryptocurrency languages. So like Ethereum has their whole blockchain network. So I'm teaching a course on how to build apps in that world.
Wow. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Keep going. You will master it. For sure. I know for sure. All right. So I know you said it, but I like to check in with all my guests to see where they are checking in from, because I get guests that are from across the water. I get guests that are from across the continent. I get guests that are across the street. So I am repping Jersey City. Where is it that you are repping?
Let's see. That's a good question. I don't really rep any one neighborhood. I guess I could say New York City, the best. I was born in Washington Heights, but I didn't live there my whole life. I moved to New Rochelle, and then I moved upstate to Pauling, a little rural town like next to the Poughkeepsie area. So
Okay.
I'd say I still represent New York City. I try,
Right.
I try to stay legit, but I don't want to claim anything. I've lived in a bunch of different places.
Okay, look at that. He's checking in from California and still repping New York. Oh, East Coast is strong. That's yeah. That's yes, Hector, yes. See, I told you, my best friend. I told you, I knew it. Can you build me a bot to get Jordans? Oh man, don't. That's good and bad at the same time. Like
I think actually, it's a funny question because that's how people get those free Jordans. They build bots to create the same kind of bots that I build. You can build one that clicks 10 million times on these contests. That's why you'll never win one of those contests, because people build bots to click on those little contests that give free Jordans and stuff. Or actually just to even order them Jordans. The first one that drops, somebody will have a bot that picks that up off the network and click before most people it hit the market.
I want a follow-up question, but I don't. I do, but I don't, because I don't want to hurt myself. It's just gonna hurt me in the long run. So I'm not gonna ask any more questions about that. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Okay, so so are you ready for me to explain to everybody what is about to happen?
Yes.
All right. Talking to you over there on Instagram, you on YouTube, you on Twitch, you on ajdunk.com, you that just stole somebody's phone and you running and watching at the same time. I'm talking to everybody. I don't care if you've seen every episode. I don't care if this is your first episode, whatever it may be. Don't feel left out, because I'm going to tell you what's about to happen. So the host of I Can't Make This Up, myself, AJ Dunk, spelled all caps, invites special guests on to share true stories that have happened in their life. Now, today's guest, Hector, is going to share a story, a true story that has happened. Now, while he's sharing this story, please comment. You can rub, enter, just comment, keep commenting. I will be reading the comments. I will also be listening to Hector, and I will be making my own notes. I'll be writing down things where it's like, oh, okay, all right. Because once Hector is done telling the story, I will be asking questions. Hold on, what's that y'all said? You said? Yes, you can ask questions too. When you're typing your comments, just put a question mark after it. Put a couple question marks maybe to help me see it. I spell my name in all caps just so I can see it. So make sure that I can see the question. And if it pertains to the story, it could be potentially asked. All right? So everybody got that? Comment. And if you have questions, type your questions, put a question mark after it. Now, Hector.
Yes.
One last thing I have to ask you before you tell this story. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is very, very serious. I don't get very serious. Like I speak real, but I don't get very serious.
Right.
Now, since you're my best friend, I'm going to be very serious with you. Do you pinky promise that this story is true?
Yes, I pinky promise. Yeah, I put the pinky up too.
All right. All right, Hector. If you would please share your story.
Yeah, you know, I figured the best story to share is the one of the picture, since that's the one we were promoting. So, because that fight actually was, to get to the fight was pretty hectic. So, I'll start at the beginning. So that summer, I fought, right before that fight, I fought 2 months before that at the Broad Street Ballroom in a Muay Thai fight. So that the one in the picture is an MMA fight. So 2 months ago, Muay Thai is like kickboxing, except like depending on the rules, say you could throw elbows and knees and stuff to the head. So I had a Muay Thai fight before that, and I actually ended up fucking up my feet. So my feet were not like, I wasn't kicking that much in training because like I jammed my toes and like it wasn't working out that well. So, so I was doing my normal training routine, but my diet wasn't going as crisply as usual, because usually what I do in order to maintain weight, for me, is hard to lose weight for some reason. I mean, I guess it's not a curse, because it's easy for me to add muscle. So, but usually how I maintain my weight is I like to do distance runs, and at the end of the week, like 4 to 6 miles, maybe a little more, depending on like how many calories I got to burn. But I couldn't really do that with my feet, so I just went with what my strength and conditioning coaches gave me. And but I wasn't like moderating my calories enough to the point where it was like I was losing the weight on schedule. So, and I went to Jamaica. I actually took my now wife back to Jamaica, and I hadn't been on vacation in like probably 3-4 years. So I was like, also a vacation for me too, but it was her birthday, so I wanted to take her someplace special.
There you go, 2 for 1 deal. Yeah.
Exactly. So I had some good food there, and I didn't do much cardio there, just the weightlifting. So when I got back, I got back to training hard, and it was a nice little break, but my weight was still high. So I'm getting to training. I actually got to spar with some UFC guys. I don't know if you guys know, but like Julio Arce. He's a big time UFC fighter. I got to spar with him one time, and it went pretty well, actually. I mean, he didn't rock my shit, so
I think you're still alive.
Exactly. So, but that gave me a lot of confidence being able to spar with him. I was like, well, if I could spar with him and he's not pushing my shit in, then anybody at amateur level I can beat. So I finally get to the fight, and my weight cut didn't go that well. So I used to run a lot. Like I said earlier, I used that to maintain my weight. But when I would cut weight, I would run like 60 miles in a week. So like I had a fight in April. With that April, I've competed at 2 different weight classes within the same week in 2 different types of martial arts. And in order to get down from 155 pounds for that fight to 144, I ran in like 3 sweatsuits and ran 10 miles a day for 5 days straight, and just did like what's called water loading. So now with this fight coming up, I didn't really have the option because of my feet to do that. And I was trying to be more like intelligent about it. Running that many miles isn't that good. So it had worked out well for my Muay Thai fight because my diet went better and like I wasn't injured. But going into the MMA fight, I was still a little heavy and I didn't water load the right way. So I was a little dehydrated. So I didn't have that much water to lose. So when I spent like 5-6 hours in the sauna the day before, 2 days before, because in New York is day before weigh-ins. And it was 11 p.m. I still had 2 pounds to go.
I'm just gonna show people real quick this picture that you're talking. Yeah. This is what Hector's talking about, everybody. All right. So I know where we going. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Exactly. So it was 2 days before. I still had 2 pounds. So the day of the weigh-ins come in, the sauna had closed the night before of the weigh-ins. So now usually I still go to work on the day of weigh-ins, even if I'm dehydrated or whatever. So I had to wake up and try and make a little like sauna bath in my apartment with like Epsom salt, and just turn the hot water on. And I told my boss, okay, I got to come in a couple hours late because I just made up an excuse, but I really need to lose those 2 pounds. And I got only 1 pound off. So now, actually, no, I got both pounds off, but I was like 0.2 over the weight I still needed. Actually, let me rephrase that. I got the 1 pound off. In every fight, an amateur usually get like a 1 pound allowance, right? So instead of weighing 145, I could come in at 146. So I got down to 146 on the dot by the time of the weigh-ins, but I was nervous as all hell because after I cut an extra pound, I went to my job. I worked a bit. I tried to get on the treadmill, but I was too drained to and not sweating anymore. So I was just like trying to dehydrate myself a little more. And by the time I got to the weigh-ins, I was literally teetering on the edge, like 146 on the dot. And that was like, I hadn't had a weight cut that bad since college, when I tried to do like some half-ass weight cut for a tournament I signed up for that I didn't really train for, and that was even worse than this one, and that was pretty bad. So I got to the venue where they were doing the weigh-ins, and I could tell I wasn't the only one because there was another girl there who she was fighting, I guess, like at 115 or 120 pounds, and she could barely walk. Like her coach was like carrying her to the scale. So
like a baby deer.
Yeah. So like she was like leaning on him. She was sick. So I was like, all right, so we're all suffering here together. I get on the scale. It's literally like they had a more sensitive scale than the one I was using because mine showed like I was going back and forth between 146 and 145.9. But their scale was like 146, and then like sometimes it go 146.1, and you can't really beat that 0.1 over. So, but when the ref got there, like it was working finally the right way. I said he saw it 3 times 146, the unofficial weigh-in. And then finally when we got to the official weigh-in, it said 146.1. I'm like, yo, ref, come on, you saw the weight, you saw the scale. So he said, no, I saw it 146. So he let it slide because I was just gonna go try and figure out how to lose another 0.1. But that shit was painful because then I started chugging and doing my rehydration process. It's a very like scientific process that I get from my strength and conditioning coach. And it allows me to go from like, because normally like my weight right now is 170. So like I get down from like 160, 170 down to 145. And the dude, so this dude I fought, he was 1-0. He had just won a fight by by submission a couple months ago. And he was from the Boogie Down BX. So and he decided he wanted to come in. He came to the event late. So I'm getting really fucking heated because I'm here on time and I want to just like before I can even rehydrate and do all that shit, I needed him to weigh in.
Right.
So I'm pissed because now I'm sitting here dehydrated and I'm like, he came like an hour late. And then on top of it, he came in an hour late, like Conor McGregor came in with the shades. He had the Jesus piece coming in looking fresh.
I want to apologize to nobody.
Exactly. So he comes in on top of that, a pound over. But I'm like, and they looked at me like, are you going to still take the fight? I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to fight him. I'm still going to fuck him up. I don't give a shit. So the fight went through.
And you were worried about 0.1.
Yeah. Exactly. Listen, nowadays I'm more like, I guess, conscientious about weight class, but when I was coming up and wrestling and like boxing and stuff and sparring, when I started sparring MMA, I was a lot crazier. I don't give a fuck about weight. And I don't give a fuck how big people are. I beat up big people regularly. So like, I don't care about 1 pound. So I was like, I already spent 2 months training for this. It's time to get this going. So we get to the next day comes, like he comes in fly as hell, chain, glasses, everything to warm up room, the whole 9 yards. I don't really like all that show and tell. Like I just prefer to tell once it gets time to the ring. They say scary. They don't say that they say scary dogs bite. They don't bark. So
ooh,
I don't like to bark. So when I just come in my jacket and that's it. It's time to fight. So I'm getting warmed up and I'm getting all hyped, anticipated, and I feel good. And actually, the girl that was barely able to walk the day before, she was right before me, and she was a killer too. But I didn't know that until I saw her start warming up. And now she's killing it on the pads. And I'm like, whoever she's fighting, whatever girl she's fighting, she's gonna knock out. I don't care. And that's what ended up happening. She knocked her out in like the first 20 seconds. So, and all I heard with the crowd going crazy. I'm up next. I was on deck, so now it's my turn.
Yeah.
And I'm just ready to go. And like, if you guys are actually interested in seeing the fights on YouTube, you could just type in my name, Hector Santana. I like that. Maybe that'll be my next ring nickname. Bars. I like that.
Yeah, bars. He's raising bars in the stock market and in the ring.
I like that.
You said that the fight you're talking about is on YouTube?
Yeah. So I fought in every venue I've fought except for one is on like a big venue for an amateur. So like my first fight was Madison Square Theater.
Oh, okay.
That was my debut fight, and this one was the Westchester County Theater. It's called Aggressive Combat Championships. You can just type in Hector Santana Aggressive Combat Championships, and it'll pop up. And then I fought my Muay Thai Broad Street Ballroom, and then I fought once in Boston, their big theater, for a Muay Thai fight as well. But back to the MMA fight. So when he comes out, I don't know if you know much about MMA, but there's a guy like Fedor Emelianenko. Okay. When he comes out, he's like a stone cold killer, no emotion, no expression. So I like him. I like how he does that. I usually do the same thing. So I come out, I just get ready, I just jump around. I don't need the extra hype to get me to fight because I love to fight. That's like my thing. And that's what I don't. People come in, and some people they have to fight to get out of a situation, but I choose to fight because I love to do that. So I don't need the extra hype to get me like going.
Talk your shit, Hector.
Thank you. But he was walking around pacing hardcore, like getting himself amped. I think I made my wife a little nervous and my family a little nervous because they see me calm, and they see him getting all amped up, and they're like, they probably want to see me get more a little amped up. But it didn't matter because the bell rang and I dropped him in the first 2 seconds.
Oh wait, hold on, wait, what?
Yeah, the bell rang. He threw a kick. I caught it and I clocked him. And actually, I knocked him out in like the first 2-3 seconds. But when he hit the ground, he woke back up. So the ref let it go. So then I just kind of like beat him up for the rest of the round on the ground. And then round 2 came and I knocked him out in the first 3 seconds of the second round. And the ref stepped in there. Wait.
Did you say in the ground woke him up, or
the ground woke him up? Yeah, like I have. You can see it on the YouTube, but I have another clip where my brother took the shot from ringside, and if you play it in slow mo, you can see you could hear the punch from ringside, like you could hear it echo in the whole stadium. That's how hard I hit him. And then you see, if you put it in slow-mo, he goes like this. He goes limp. He falls like that, and then hits the ground and wakes him back up. And actually, the announcer, if you listen to the fight, they actually say that, like, oh, it looked like he got knocked out there. And one of the announcers was a woman who fights professionally. And she said, yeah, sometimes, you get hit. It's called a flash knockout. You get knocked out, and then the ground can wake you back up because it's one of those quick things. Your lights go out for a second. But you might not be all there, even if
I don't expect you to be all there. When I wake up in the morning after regular sleep, I'm not all there. So somebody knocked me the fuck out in 2 seconds, and then the ground hits me, and I wake up like Inception. I'm not gonna be there.
Right. Exactly. So actually, that whole thing that first knock took all the steam out of him, because when I saw him in round 2, he didn't want to be there. I saw his whole face change. Actually, and you'll see, because I saw that, I'm always looking. My style I can describe as very technical and very like methodical and like very observant. Right. I'm not like, I don't like to. When I was growing up, I was a brawler. That was me. I'm a hothead. But now I'm a very big emphasis on technique, and I have techniques that I would describe as very unique because a lot of my focus is on old school boxing. So not like the guys you see today, like Anthony Joshua or like Wilder, any of them. More like the old school grades, like Sugar Ray Robinson, Willie Pep, Henry Armstrong. Even from the 90s, like Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Roberto Duran, Salvador Sanchez. all of those guys. And the old school, which is what they do completely different than the new school, is they were very, very focused on technique, less on conditioning, but more on technical superiority. And what did that involve? It involved a lot of shadow boxing, a lot of like standing in front of the mirror, making sure like you look perfect and your footwork is perfect. And nowadays it's more about hitting the pads and like getting that exercise in. Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up because you know I got to see this shit now.
All right. I got you. So I'll wrap up this segment. So I love the old school technique, and that's how I model all of my stuff. You know, because actually one of the things not many people know much about the history of African American sports in America, but for a long time, for like 60 years. Even in boxing, they weren't allowed to compete, and even in the slave days, slaves were used as like, I guess, athletes to like represent slave masters, and a lot of them built these skills, and they were better than obviously the rest of the field. But once slavery was abolished and more African Americans became free, they had all these skills, but weren't allowed even to play the game. Even in boxing, the first great African-American champion, Jack Johnson, who changed the entire scope of it, had to chase down the white champion at the time, crossed countries. He chased him down to France in order to even get a shot. And when he won that championship, there were race riots and all the whites were mad. So they went out and killed a lot of African-Americans, burned down their towns, etc. But during this whole process, the African-American style of boxing was like their own secret martial art. It was like the black codex of boxing. And so if you really want to like learn the art, you watch the old school black boxers. Like even one of my favorite, Jersey Joe Walcott, is like their dancing. It's like their rhythm, the way they incorporate rhythm into their fighting, the way they use their techniques is like, it's very like beautiful and pristine. And if you watch Sugar Ray Robinson, him and like Roberto Duran, Jersey Joe Walcott, those are my favorite boxers. It's like they're on another level. Like their foot, and you can see why, because in their training they incorporate all these elements of technique. So I model my stuff after that. And when I saw him come out round 2, I saw his face change. I used what's called if you actually are a big Mike Tyson fan, I knocked him out with a technique. I used Tyson shift, they call it, and to get the angle and hit him with a hook, and that was it.
The one thing that I remember Mike Tyson saying that really stuck to me was when he enters the ring, or once he sees the opponent, he locks on the opponent and just stays locked. And then he says, once they break eye contact, he said he got him.
Oh, 100%. So when I do my that quote actually is something I live by for when I do my photo shoots and stuff. Like when they do the pictures at the weigh-ins, the only thing I do is I walk 2 feet in front of the person and I look them dead in their eyes. If they can't look me in the eyes for the whole period, then I know they don't got nothing for me. They weren't there. They weren't there because they're ready to fight.
This doesn't look like they're gonna look you in the eyes that long. Look at my man's. So let's see something. This is okay. All right. It is 3 rounds. Didn't go 3 though.
Nah, didn't go 3. Actually, should have ended in the first 10.
Oh, look at him. He went and got his hair did. Oh. Okay, German. Look at him. Okay, let's see Hector. Okay, Hector.
He represents New York Combat Zone.
New York. Hector, this face looks like you want to put that weight back on.
Yeah.
You're like, I see food. Time to get heavy.
Time to eat.
And you say in the first 2 seconds, look at you. You're like, motherfucker. Hector, you look really like
I did.
There we go.
I don't.
That's what I want to hear. And we're underway for our 6th bout between.
You look like a kid that known they were gonna get a beating and it was scheduled for later, like from your parents. You look like, you're like, you know what, Hector, when I get home, you're getting a beating. You're just like,
That's funny. That's a good way to put it.
Once again, a pretty animated stare down before.
damn! Wait. We gotta go back. We gotta play it slow. You said slow motion, right?
Yeah, put it on slow.
All right, let's see. Miss. Bong! Oh! Even the announcer in slow motion makes it funny. I want to go even slower. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, that's just a taste. Now, here it comes.
He got knocked down with a hard right hand, but he recovered. Now he has a half guard.
So I just want to preface one thing.
Exciting.
Yes.
So in amateur MMA fights in New York, unless like your opponent agrees or you have a certain amount of fights, you can't punch him in the head on the ground like you see in the UFC. So that's why the fight didn't end sooner. So you won't see me for the rest of the round punch him in the head. You'll see me try and like do other things. Just wanted to let that, because people always have questions about that.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna fast forward it a little bit towards the end of the round. That's so we can see that knockout. Like when he like, all right, you know, I don't want no more. All right. So let's see. All right. We'll do the last 20 seconds. Let's see.
Sometimes working the body.
Yeah, them braids is coming undone, buddy.
So he's limiting his escapes. It looks like we're going to see the second round.
It was all Hector Santana in round number 1 in this featherweight tilt.
So Hector, I have to ask you, did you go into this fight, since you didn't do much training with your legs, did you go into this fight more like prepared to use your hands?
Yeah. So I mean, my first real love of martial arts was boxing, like I was describing earlier. So I mean, I boxed for 14 years.
I'm sorry. Why is he straddling my man like this?
Sometimes my coach does it sometimes too. They put your feet on their legs so that the blood flow circulates better through your body. Especially if you've been dropped. It's probably because people like put their feet in the ground, rooted and like slouch, and now you're trying to like you're not in a position where you're ready to.
Especially if you've been dropped.
Yeah.
Yes, he is officially getting that beating. Oh my gosh. His hand was like, hold on, chill. Yeah, hit him hard. Okay. Oh shit.
Once again, we want to thank our sponsors. Once again, thank you, Casa Noble Tequila.
Oh no, German. This is the end. We had a spoiler, but I think we kind of knew.
We're underway in round number 2.
So Santana got the drop again. That right hand.
Yo, wait. I saw his shoulder like twitched at the beginning too. When you first started.
So Santana got
Tequila.
Watch. Yeah, let's see it.
And here I can actually, while it plays, I'll tell you how Tyson does his knockout. That's the whole move here.
So look, watch. You see how he tucked it in on his face?
Yeah, he's trying to stop me from throwing the right hand. So I threw the right, I slip and shift his stance. Tyson shifts directions into those angles and came in southpaw with the overhand hook over the top of his jab.
Santana got the drop.
Look at the announcers would kill me. Oh!
have to drop again. That
and
right.
one last time.
Round number 2.
And his foot twist too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Santana got the
He's
drop
out. Watch when
again.
he
That
stands.
right hand.
Watch when he stands up.
Ref
He
called
can't
it
walk.
this time. Oh man, he's just still stumbling.
So if he would have come to the weigh-in on time, he would have seen you and that woman walking the same way that he just was.
Right.
Yo, I'm glad I looked this shit up. It's backed up everything you say. First couple seconds. Boom. Okay, now we have a question.
Yeah.
With this type of career, being in this industry, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Great question.
That is a good question. So, you know, the pandemic kind of messed up the whole fighting career thing for me. So after that fight, actually, I took a little break just to get my injuries back. And like, I moved into a new apartment in Jersey City, just getting myself situated. And so I had actually been training for a fight right when they announced the pandemic, the first shutdown. It was 2 weeks before my fight, actually. So they ended up getting canceled. At the same time, I had actually just received my first like major amateur opportunity on like at a elite, actually my first 2 big ones. So one was an offer to fight for in a 4-man tournament for a title for a new promotion against a pretty big name. And another was to fight for the biggest promotion on the East Coast in amateur MMA, which is actually a feeder into Bellator and like other regional promotions and stuff at the pro level. And I was pretty excited because I'm going to fight that Muay Thai fight. And then that was going to be my first Muay Thai fight with elbows. So that was going to be fun because I've been trying to get into that. And then I was going to do that MMA fight. And hopefully by the end of the year, after I was hoping to like fight 4 times that year, go pro if I could win all of those fights and you know, prove myself that I'm on the next level. Right. Well, then the pandemic kind of like took that all out of the equation. So I'm not really sure in terms of the fighting career where that's going to go, because I've had to shift gears a little more, you know, adapt to the situation. So I've been more focused on my job. I had put my master's on hold that year I was fighting. So I've returned to doing that. I'm actually only I have only this semester and then 2 other semesters to take, and then I'm done with that. And then hopefully, you know, in a couple of years I'll do my PhD in data science. So that's, I guess, where my focuses have shifted. I'm trying to get more into the crypto coding space and learn like all of those different languages and techniques and stuff. And maybe I'll even do that. Hopefully, though, on the fighting side, I'm getting back into training. I had actually some injuries from years and years of competing that I ignored forever, and they're on my spine. So I had to take care of those when I got to California, and now I'm like finally pretty recovered and in good shape. So I'm slowly getting back into it. So maybe, hopefully, this end of this year, maybe early next year, or even the summer, I'll get back to fighting, and maybe I could revive that portion of my life.
Yeah, we can give this a break. You see that look that you have right there? you can relax that for a little bit. Relax your face, B. Because boy, man,
yeah,
I smell doo doo.
You know, I don't even know if I could go back into that face, because you know, at that time, I mean, my wife right now, she makes me so happy that it's like that the same kind of anger that I used to channel to fight is a different. You know, I've changed as a person, so it's a different kind of anger. Actually, that anger I was channeling from something completely different that was going on with my apartment situation, and so that's how I got that anger for that fight. But I usually use my anger as a tool to enhance my fighting capabilities. So, but you know, I have to actually approach the game differently now, because now, you know, as from all the love that I've gotten in my life, and getting married this year has changed how I guess the anger that I draw on. So crypto, like that Batman.
No! Oh shit! That's wow. Don't tell me if you're Batman.
Who knew? You know, that was always the secret. Batman was Latino.
That's my best friend. I was like, yo. Oh my gosh. Oh, great story. Oh, one question that I do have. So
Yeah.
when you drop weight, from the time that you drop weight and you weigh in until the fight happens, what's the time span?
Usually I try and get a 6 to 8 week fight camp. And then during that fight camp, depending on what I started out, so I'm like 163, 165 pounds, I may just start cutting it right at the beginning, like where I just
once you go in and you're like, all right, I made 146, and then you're able to leave and hydrate. What's the time until the
Oh,
fight?
I got one night to do that. So
One night? Oh,
yeah. So there's a whole process that my current strength and conditioning coach gave me. It's much better than my old process, which was none. So he gives me I guess I drink specific like rehydration supplements that they use for like hiking and other things, which I didn't even know about, but he told me how to do that. And thank you on that to the comments. But I use those supplements. It's not really even a supplement. It's like like electrolytes, like drinking like Pedialyte and stuff, like mixes with water, and then drinking the naked smoothies to like get my stomach back accustomed to eating food. And then like just lots of water and different kinds of juices. Like I love pomegranate juice, so I use that, and that'll put a lot of weight on really quickly in like the first 20 minutes. And then I go home and I eat like a whole feast. Like I've never eaten it in my life. And usually I try and keep it like very healthy grains and stuff. So like I'll get like whole wheat pancake stack or something, and like eggs and egg whites and stuff, and like I'll have my protein like a steak, but I can't put too much seasoning on it, like salt and stuff, so it's more bland. And then I eat like at least 2,000 calories. Works more for me. Not everybody does the same thing,
right.
But for me, like I don't usually get stomach cramping and stuff, so I can eat all the stuff. And then in the morning, you see me how I looked in the fight, because there's a picture of me at weigh-ins, and I look like what's his name, Christian Bale from The Machinist. Usually at weigh-ins.
And Christian Bale, wasn't he also Batman?
Oh yeah, you see it. Look at
see, look at that. He keeps dropping gems. Yeah. I pay attention. You ain't gotta tell everybody, Batman. But right. Now, if anybody has any last minute comments, questions, whatever it may be, please submit them now. Now, I have this question for you, Hector. I ask all my guests this.
Mm-hmm.
From the time that you came, we said hello to you and you entered the episode, to the time that you leave the episode, how would you like the people to remember you?
I would like the people to remember me as somebody who's, I guess, multifaceted. You know, I'm not like, and humble, I guess. Hopefully humble. I hope I didn't like show myself as braggadocious, but more multifaceted. You know, I like to give, sometimes the world doesn't expect a lot from people of color, so being able to present a different look, like I do some things that are, I guess, different and more like niche that you don't typically see sometimes. So being able to expose the audience to that, that we are also in those different environments thriving.
Man, listen, you came in here and you did everything. You entertained us. We saw the video. You educated us. You told us about the history with boxing. You made an application where people can go get some Jordans now, maybe if they send you the Venmo. Like you did everything since you entered here, Hector. I got a best friend.
Definitely.
Best friend out of this. So I'm very, like, thank you. Look.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I appreciate the opportunity.
You just, all that you did was tell the truth, and you didn't
That's true.
it at all. You was like in the first couple seconds, he went to sleep and woke up. In 5 seconds, he went to sleep and woke up.
Right.
A quick ass nap. All right. Now, before we say goodbye to you, are there any last words? If you want to promote anything, let people know, any last minute advice, whatever it may be, I give you this platform to take the opportunity to do that now.
Okay. Well, I guess if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at man_fire_86. You know, I love Denzel Washington and I love Man on Fire, the movie. Actually, if you watched that the other night. I like to post myself training and technique videos and things of that nature, and sometimes I like to post my baby as well. So hopefully you enjoy the content. And I guess a last tidbit of advice is don't let anybody ever tell you can't do something. I mean, there's enough hours, and there's 24 hours a day. You break it down to minutes, it's 1,440 minutes. There's enough time if you really want something to go do it, as long as you put your mind to it.
Yes. Thank you, Hector. I greatly appreciate it. And I especially appreciate it because you've given your time for this. And time is not something that you could put a price tag on, and it's not something that you can get back. So I do greatly appreciate you taking your time to share with me and everybody else that's watching. I appreciate it greatly.
Of course. And thank you to the audience as well for listening and enjoying my story.
I'm gonna watch that video a couple more times. I'm gonna show it to my friends. I'm like, yo, you keep fucking with me. I'm gonna call Batman.
Yeah. Well, if you want, I do have a YouTube channel. I think it's also called Man on Fire. I use it for I have some of my other fights there. And if you want to see the Boston fight, the last 20 seconds of the Boston fight, I didn't finish the guy like I did in this round, but I hit him with a 20-piece combo that like knocked his head into the stratosphere. So you can see that.
Killer Instinct hyper combo. Oh, okay, Hector. I'm definitely gonna check that out. People, make sure you go find that video, check it out, and subscribe. When you see the video, make sure you subscribe. All right, Hector. Thank you. Appreciate it greatly. I will be in touch. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Sounds good. Have a great night. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for watching.
All right. Yo, that boy, listen, what he said was what he said, and that's what it was. Oh my gosh. He said, my man wasn't doing all that. Hey, yeah. Then no. All right. Now, you know what we got to do. Before we get into what have we learned today, I need you to take a moment and vote. Now, if you believe this story, let me get in all caps in the comments. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to you that's watching on Instagram. Even if you're not on here, I'm looking at your comments. I'm talking to you on YouTube. I'm talking to you on Twitch. I'm talking to you on Facebook and you on ajdunk.com. If you believe this story in the comments, let me get in all caps. All right. If you don't believe this story, let me get a nah ho. All right. If you believe this story, let me get in all caps. If you don't, let me get a nah ho. All right. Time for what we have learned today. When somebody shows up to something and they got the fresh out the womb, I sat on my legs for 4 hours and now my feet are asleep, and you get up and they start walking around and they wobbling. Do not make fun of them, okay? Because in a day, they're going to put on a lot of weight and they're going to come back and they're going to put you to sleep quickly, all right? So just remember, scary dogs fight. They don't bark. So today's lesson right there. Scary dogs fight. They don't bark. Take that with you. All right. Thank you to everybody for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And I would like to really say thank you to my special guest today, Hector, for taking the time to tell that story, because his story lasted longer than the whole fight did. All right, once again, my name is AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. you can find me at www.ajdunk.com. From there, you've got my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. It's all located at ajdunk.com. Also, my YouTube page is there. So when you go to ajdunk.com, you can go to a page and it'll show you everything that you're able to do. All right? Look, I'll even show you real quick. You go to ajdunk.com. Look at this. You don't think you could do it? Look right here. ajdunk.com. You go right here. You got home. You got the entertainment. We got entertainment on here. Yes, I do. Look at that. We got the live show right here. You can click the social media page. If you are looking, there it is. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You click the links. It'll take you right there. All right. And you can also, from here, contact me. So if you would like to get updates and get part of my email chain, and it'll let you know what's going on and all that, send me a message via ajdunk.com. So thank you again to everybody for taking time to view today and take time out of your day. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to say that, I'm going to constantly say it because I honestly mean it. When you give time to something, that's important. So thank you. Again, my name is AJ Dunk, spelled all caps. Don't forget, laughter is always in style, and let them know, ma.